Hi everyone, I'm Ibrahimova Nurjahan and I'm the introducer of our today's debate. So, a Turing test is the method of inquiry in artificial intelligence for determining whether or not a computer is capable of thinking like a human being. While traditional assessment is a conventional method of testing, which usually produce a written document such as quiz, exam, or a paper. And now let me please to introduce my group members. So the first group, Aziza Jalilova and Bibiniso Jumaboeva will defend the traditional method of assessment, and the second group, Shahnoza Davronova and Aziza Birdieva will defend the Turing one, and the last member, Zuhra Baratbekova, will sum up and conclude our today's debate. And now let me give my turn to the debaters.
Traditional testing refers to conventional method of assessment, usually standardized with pen and paper, multiple choice, fill-in blank, true, false, or matching type test items. In our academic life, we usually do traditional assessment, and its mission is to develop productive citizens in educational institutions, then test them in order to know if they require the expected knowledge and skills. The advantages of traditional assessment are the following. So the first one, it's easy to score. Teachers can evaluate students more effectively, easily, and quickly, and it doesn't make any problems both for students and teachers. So the second one, it doesn't take much time because to prepare for the test requires less time and it's easy to administer. So the third one, this method of assessment is objective, reliable, and valid. It can be scored objectively and thus can give the test the appearance of being more fair and reliable than subjectively scored tests. And the fourth one, so it's economical. It doesn't take much money for taking it and at the same time for passing this exam. For example, when it comes to multiple choice test, it's fast, easy, and economical to score. And in fact, shortly speaking, it's machine scoreable. And of course, it makes our life easier. This was the end of my speech. Now I will give my turn to Aziza.
Thank you, Bibiniso. So, as defined earlier, a traditional assessment generally refers to written testing. The assessment or test assumes that all students should learn the same thing and rely on rote memorization of facts. Research has found that tests can be valuable tools to help students learn if they are designed and administrated with format, timing, and content in mind, and a clear purpose to improve students' learning. Tests can be especially beneficial if they are given frequently and provide a near immediate feedback to help students improve. So, a 2006 study found that students who had brief retrieval test before high-stakes test remembered 60% of the material, while those who only studied remembered 40%. Additionally, in a 2009 study, 8th graders who do practice test halfway through the year remembered 10% more facts on a U.S. history final at the end of the year than peers who only studied and took no practice test. So to be more specific, now let's look at the diagram. So, students reviewed some US history facts through tests with feedback, some through additional study, and some were not reviewed at all. On a final test 9 months later, students who reviewed the information after a 16-week delay remembered slightly more than students who reviewed it after a 1-week delay. And retention was significantly better for information reviewed through test study compared to study and no review. But talking about some disadvantages of the Turing tests, I can say that the Turing tests doesn't directly test whether the computer behaves intelligently. It tests only whether computers behave like a human being. Since human behavior and intelligent behavior are not exactly the same things, it can fail to accurately measure intelligence in two ways. So the first way is some human behavior is unintelligent. That's to say, the Turing tests requires that the machine be able to execute all human behaviors regardless to whether they are intelligent. It even tests for behaviors that may not be considered as intelligent at all. So, if the machine can't imitate those unintelligent behaviors, so of course it fails the test. So, and the next one is that some intelligent behavior is inhuman. The Turing test doesn't test for highly intelligent behaviors, such as the ability to solve difficult problems or come up with some original insights. So, taking into consideration what was said before, I can say that traditional assessment is more comfortable and useful for all. So, it was the end of my speech. Thank you for attention.
Hello everybody, now I want to tell you about Turing test. So first I want to tell you what kind of test it is, why we need it, and some interesting facts and of course advantages exactly these tests. So first of all, look at the picture to understand the testing process. The Turing test is an empirical test, the idea of which was proposed by Alan Turing in the article Computing Machines and Minds, published in 1950 in the philosophical journal Mind. So Turing set out to determine if computer or machine can think. The standard interpretation of this as follows: a person interact with one person and one computer machine. Based on answer and questions, he must determine this whom he is talking, this machine or this person. The task of a computer is mislead the person, so forcing him to make the wrong choice. So what about advantages these tests? Of course, the strength of the Turing test is that you can talk about anything you want and discuss. So another advantages of this test is structurability and simplicity. So what does it mean? The power and appeal of the Turing test is derived from its simplicity. The psychology and modern neuroscience have been unable to provide definition intelligent and thinking. Without such kind of definitions of central question of philosophy of artificial intelligence cannot be answered. The Turing test, even it's imperfect, but at least provided something that can actually be measured. As such, it's a pragmatic attempt to answer a difficult philosophical questions. So this is the end of my speech. Thank you for attention. Now I am going to give my turn to the next speaker.
Hello to everyone. Before Shahnoza gave you general information about the Turing test and told you about advantages of this test, now I want to tell you about the weaknesses of this test. Turing didn't explicitly state that the Turing test could be used as a measure of intelligence or any other human quality. The Turing test has been proposed as a measure of a machine's ability to think or its intelligence. This proposal has received criticism from both philosophers and computer scientists. It assumes that an interrogator can determine if a machine is thinking by compare its behavior with human behavior. Every element of this assumption has been questioned. This reliability of the interrogator's judgment, the value of comparing the machine with a human. Because of these and other considerations, some researchers have questioned the relevance of this test to the field. That was all information about Turing test.
Hello everyone, my name is Zuhra and I would like to continue my speaking. I would like to highlight by saying the facts about the Turing tests. In Turing tests, for example, people or participants are separated. The second thing is that conversation has to take place on text-only channels like screen or keyboard. And the third thing is that in Turing tests, the evaluator knows in advance that either A or B is correct, but he doesn't know which one is better, which one is machine, of course. Come to the traditional tests, as they were mentioned, that includes like gap fill, matching words, or multiple choice, true, false, not given. Such kind of optional variants is also good for students, but in order to know their knowledge, it's better for using both of them. And I would like to say about the words of experts that they said that for many students, assessment is not an educational experience in itself, but a process of thinking, the process of guessing what is correct, what the teacher wants, and how to decide this problem is more vital than choosing variants as they want. Therefore, I would like to say that, for example, in Turing tests, comparing Turing tests with traditional is not appropriate. It seems like, for example, in Turing tests in last century, it was obvious that people solve these tests more faster than machines. But nowadays, in our century, in 21st century, it's vice versa. Machines are more faster than people. So it's obvious that which one to use, but in our country it's good using traditional one. So it's for people to use which one is better and which one is good. So it was the last question. Thank you. Goodbye for all teachers and students.